know.
Greetings, football lovers, aka soccer lovers. Welcome to another week of Ball Chat live on Facebook and YouTube. I am Benton, back in the building again with my brother Junior. How are you doing, boss?
Yes, sir, I'm here, sir.
You at peace?
Yeah, I'm very well at peace.
Very well at peace.
I want to make the big announcement, right?
We have to go ahead, Junior. Make the big announcement.
Right now, we are live on Island Sports Network.
Welcome, Island Sports Network family. Big up yourself to all the followers of Island Sport Network, and send us on your questions or comments on your Facebook platform.
Yes,
And
sir.
also we big up our usual followers on YouTube family. Big up yourself. But apologies to my family, my parent P online. Come on, the wonderful. How are you doing? I sorry for waiting
I'm
too long
good.
to introduce you. How are you?
That's okay. I'm good. I'm good.
So, football lovers, this week we're going to always discuss the major news in football. It's been a wonderful week. I enjoy absolutely every game that I watch. I can't say the same about the Manchester United fan. We're going to start off with our ballers and bugs. Ballers being the most impressive players of the week, or personnel, or fan, whosoever you're impressed with. The bugs. You know what bugs mean. So, to kick it off, what happened to the bugs this week? But to kick it off, come on, go ahead with your ball of the week, please.
My baller or my bug?
Your baller. I was thinking about Arsenal fans when I was thinking about bugs, but I will save that for later. Trying to wait. So, big up yourself, Arsenal fan family. We know who you are. Come on, go ahead with your ball of the week, please, because we always recognize ballers first.
I have a couple of ballers this week. So first baller for me is Aston Villa for their 2-0 win over Everton. Everton spent all this money only to be embarrassed by an Aston Villa. So big up to Aston Villa. That's my first baller. Then for Tammy Abrams for withstanding all the racism, all the things that happened to him to come and score a brace in Chelsea's 3-2 win over Norwich. Then for Crystal Palace for beating Man U and just to get all the Man U fans to shut up. Big up to Crystal Palace, they're my next baller. And for Liverpool, the entire Liverpool squad to really show us how bad Arsenal will be this season and for maintaining their 3-game unbeaten run for the beginning of the season. So those are my ballers for this week.
Come on, it seems like you're trying to take all the ballers. And football family on YouTube and Facebook, you can go ahead and send on your ballers, send on your bugs. Come on, had a mouthful. I can't even remember all of them. Tammy Abrahams for scoring 2 goals against against Norwich, scoring 2 goals for Chelsea. Liverpool for destroying Arsenal, putting Arsenal in their place, for keeping Arsenal where they currently are, bottom of the pile. And who else here? Aston Villa for picking up that victory against a pathetic-looking Everton. And who else? I'm forgetting another one. Come on, who is your other ball?
Crystal Palace for giving Junior a headache.
And Crystal Palace for defeating the small empire, Manchester United at Old Trafford 2-1. Junior, come on, had a laundry list or a huge list of ballers. I hope you don't have a list of ballers. Just 1 or 2.
Well, the whole Newcastle midfield. And big up Miguel Almiron. That man cannot stop running. I have to big up Miguel Almiron because he ran his socks off. So big up Miguel. Really, really love what he did. And Mr. Longstaff, the other one that
Sean Longstaff. Yes.
He's setting the table right for them. So the whole Newcastle midfield.
So Miguel Almiron, and for football lovers who haven't followed us, we've been doing this for a year now, approximately, and Miguel Almiron is from Atlanta United, originally played for Atlanta, so we're a huge fan of Miguel Almiron, and then he subsequently moved on to Newcastle. So we are Miguel Almiron fanboys in this space. So
big up Rico Morgan. Rico, big up. I'm going to get that answer for you because he asking when is the RSPL going to start. So we'll get that answer for you real soon.
when is the RSPL going to start? Real football.
September 1st.
What is the second one?
September 1st.
September 1st. You hear that, Rico? September 1st.
September 1st is when the RSPL. So, my ball of the week. So, continue with ballers and bugs. My ball of the week, and to recognize Junior's ballers, Miguel Almiron and that Newcastle midfield. Newcastle defeated Tottenham 1-0 at Tottenham. Fancy new stadium, and you losing to Bugside. But we'll get to that in our EPL review in a second. My ball of the week is Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah is a player who is totally on another level. He's able to lift the entire Liverpool unit. He scored 2 goals yesterday and embarrassed David Luiz. Well, I guess David Luiz just being David Luiz, Junior.
Yeah, that's David being David.
David being David.
And big up Dalton. Dalton, I know, is very happy right now. The Liverpool fans are rolling in.
Liverpool fans are up to Dalton. Big up yourself. But Mohamed Salah scoring 2 goals. And he toyed with David Luiz. David Luiz dragging his shirt. David Luiz was just lost at sea trying to cover Mohammed, King of Egypt, Salah yesterday. So he's my ball of the week. Come on, who is your bug of the week? And send on your bug and ballers of the week, Facebook and YouTube family. Who do you have as your ballers and bugs? And we'll recognize them as you send them on. Come on, who you have as your bug of the week?
I have two things. One is not a person, one is a system. So they are kind of messed up this weekend. They missed 2 clear and obvious PK calls in the Man U versus Crystal Palace game. It's hard to see a team get 3 PKs in any game, but if there's a foul in the box, there's a foul in the box.
True.
So there were 2 clear, not handballs, there were 2 clear fouls in the box versus Man U, and VAR completely missed it. And I think the English FA, they're trying to make it where the referee is the voice of, reason, or his decision stands unless it was clear and obvious, and it was. So VAR was one of my bugs of this weekend. And David Luiz. David Luiz was a Chelsea player, and I love him when he's playing well. But when he played yesterday, it was a disaster. He looked out of sorts. He looked slow. He looked out of ideas. And the penalty that he gave away was schoolboy football. I expect to see Jamaica College and versus Kingston College players make that kind of mistake. So David Luiz and VAR are my two bugs of the week.
David Luiz and VAR, come on, 2 bugs of the week. Junior, you're a bug of the week, boss.
We're going to expand on this later, so I'm going to just keep it short, sweet, and spicy. But Pochettino, and not for them losing, but the way he's handling the Ericsson situation. To me, he's been a bug of a coach for doing that. So that's my bug of the week.
So Mauricio Pochettino, for the way he's handling the Ericsson situation, or lack of handling the Christian Eriksen situation. Football lovers, Christian Eriksen is rumored to be on his way out of Tottenham, or is looking to play elsewhere. if you listen to rumors. My bug of the week, and you know we don't have a lot of time for this show, so we want to get through them as quickly because we have a laundry list of bugs and ballers. But quickly, unequivocally, is Unai Emery. Unequivocally is Unai Emery. Unai Emery, this is his second year in his Arsenal project. He went out and got players. He got, Nicolas Pepe, Ceballos. You have Lucas Torreira from last year. He has a squad. And then he shows up with an impotent setup. Guendouzi and Wilcock in a midfield with Xhaka versus Henderson, Gigi, and Fabinho. 3 powers in EPL football going up against babies. This is men versus boys football.
Hold on. Well, you said 3 powers?
Powers in terms of work ethic. Fabinho, Gigi, and Jordan Henderson are physical, powerful midfielders. They may not be talented, but they're the engine that pulls that Liverpool midfield. And you roll up with Willock, Xhaka, and Guendouzi. And Guendouzi and Ceballos. Now, man, you're buggered while Lucas Torreira sat on the bench. The Uruguayan who's a tackling machine for you. Unai Emery, you better get it right soon, because else you're going to be marching out of a job real soon. To segue from our ballers and bugs to the EPL recap, try to hit some quick points in our EPL recap. Major takeaways. I mean, we expected Liverpool to destroy Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal lost last year, 5-1 at Anfield. So, was this an improvement? Come on. They only lost 3-1 this year.
How is that No, it's not an improvement. Arsenal went out there and got this player on hire purchase, and it was like the next coming of Christ. And they went out there and got more pieces to fix their team. So for them to come out and show us that this is just the same Arsenal of old, it's not an improvement. I mean, bar the scoreline, it could have been more for Liverpool, and it could, Arsenal probably could have scored 1 or 2 goals. Let's be real. But they went out there and they brought in new players, and they're still showing us that they're not good enough. So it's not improvement, even though they didn't get whooped 5-0 or 4-0 like that. It's not an improvement, Benton. It's not.
It's not an improvement. Junior, what's your assessment of this Liverpool versus Arsenal game, and is this an improvement? They lost 5-1 last year at Anfield. This year they got 3-1. And they could have scored some goals. Arsenal, that is.
The word improvement is a tricky word.
All right, shouldn't you use it in this
I wouldn't use it in this context. But what Arsenal have shown is showing Liverpool's weakness.
Okay.
Pepe and Aubameyang showed them up. Because we were even joking that they were playing, 8 defenders and 2 forwards?
Yes.
But yet Arsenal did get their fair amount of chances.
Yes.
So the question must be why?
Liverpool definitely has issue with speed, right? So, but is it important to show someone's weakness but then not capitalize on it?
Well, if I'm an Arsenal fan, I would say no. But then as a Man U fan or as a City fan, they would say, of course. Because now we see a little bug side can put pressure on Liverpool in Anfield. Okay. Should have scored. Pepe should have scored at least 2 goals.
And
so,
how do you spend £72 million, some of it up in paid up front, for a player who can't even score a simple goal?
Not even the simplest of goals.
Come on. How do you pay $72 million for a player that can't even score a simple goal.
If you could ask the same thing about Harry Kane today when he missed the easy tap in.
Okay.
It's just one of these. It was one of those days. So as Junior always likes to say, the season is young. It just starts. It's a new team for him, so he's going to get adjusted. We're talking about Pepe, right?
Yes.
He's going to get adjusted. And then, the goals might flow. They might start to understand each other. But we have to give him time. We have to give him some time. So him missing easy chances, we can't kill him, because I saw Harry Kane miss the easiest of tap-ins today, and he has been playing with the Spurs for a long time. So, I'm not going to kill Pepe. I'm going to give him some time. Come December, if he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, then we can actually talk about him and pick him apart.
Real quick, Dalton is saying his ball of the week is Salah, and his bug of the week is Pan United, Manchester United.
And Dalton, let's segue from, because there was even bigger results coming out of the EPL. Let's segue from the Liverpool versus Arsenal matchup, because it was a formality. We expected that. But at Old Trafford, you are the resident Manchester United fan on Ball Chat, Junior. You guys lost 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Which of these is the real Manchester United? They defeated Everton, Chelsea 4-0. They drew 1-1 with Wolves, and they lost 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Which of these is the real Manchester United?
Well, I'm going to say it again. I told you guys after week 1.
Which of them is the real Manchester?
We saw yesterday is not the real Manchester. I would say the real Manchester United is somewhere in between Wolves and Chelsea.
Somewhere between Wolves and Chelsea.
Yeah.
Come on, Manchester United is trending in the wrong direction. Picked up the victory the first week. They drew the second game, lost the third game. Your assessment of the game yesterday, and which of these is the real Manchester United, or we haven't seen it yet?
When Manchester United finds an easy or a soft team, they will dominate and beat them. Yesterday, Crystal Palace came out. They were physical and they were rough, right? Manchester United has 71% possession to Crystal Palace 28% possession, right? They had 8 corner kicks to Crystal Palace 1 corner. So it's not like, say, Manchester United was not trying. They were actually trying. But Crystal Palace had 18 fouls compared to 8 for Manchester United. So you realize that Manchester United cannot handle a physical team, and that's what Crystal Palace showed yesterday. So, Junior, whenever you guys book up a nice physical team, you're going to lose.
Probably.
But let's also be fair about this too, right? VAR missed 2 clear PKs for Manchester United. Would they have scored them between the 2 PK fighters, takers, whatever they want to be called? That's a different story. But if VAR had given those 2 PKs, then we might not be talking about a Crystal Palace victory.
Joe?
Yeah, very good point. Come on Manchester United and Crystal Palace. And they did miss the penalty, and we'll figure out that later regarding that's a whole nother conversation with Manchester United and people taking penalty. We don't even have time in this space for that sort of deal. But a bigger sort of upset in the EPL is Newcastle upsetting Spurs.
Right.
And Junior, you mentioned that in your bug segment when you label Mauricio Pochettino as the bug of the week. Can you elaborate on why you label him the bug of the week? You linked it to the issue with not handling this Eriksen issue, and how much of that you think is spilling over into the performance or lack of good performance from Spurs. Come on, we'll always say Spurs is just being Spurs. But your assessment of this and link it to the defeat today from Newcastle.
It's just a question that is going to be asked of Pochettino and Tottenham. If they play good, it will be because of Eriksen. If they don't play good, it's because of Eriksen.
Okay.
And the drama surrounding him.
Yeah. If
Eriksen is not going to be a Tottenham player, if he's not in your plans, do not play him.
Okay.
Don't have him on the bench. Don't have him sitting there like he's a super sub, a 40-year-old super sub. The man is in his prime. So if you have your best player sitting on the bench, how do you expect your team to play their best? when they are looking at the bench and seeing we're just waiting for the savior to come on. He came on and saved them the first week.
Okay.
And he couldn't save them today. Even the commentators is saying, oh, you know, we see a different energy from Spurs. Energy is showing more guile now. When in actuality, they're not.
Yeah.
And Spurs fans out there, I'm sorry, I have to say this. If you think Dele Alli is going to come back and beat Dele Alli of last year, plus make up for what you are losing in Eriksen, I'm sorry, guys.
Spurs signed Giovanni Chelsea, and yes, he's no Christian Eriksen. He's injured or still out of shape, so to speak. Come on, what do you make of this issue with Spurs and the fact that they lost today to Newcastle? I mean, after putting in a shift, they were lucky last week against City, but they got points on the road, so you got to give them some sort of credit. And then they won the first game against Aston Villa. Are we reading too much into the defeat today, or is just Spurs being Spurs?
Spurs being Spurs. They're just so inconsistent that you can't even bet that they're going to win a game and win some money. You might just lose. And then you're talking about beating Aston Villa. Aston Villa is a newly promoted team, but that we aren't even looking at staying up. So when you go and compare that win to what they should have done against Newcastle, I think it is foolhardy. I mean, I know possession don't win games, but Tottenham had 80% possession today. I think he's overrated. And for Junior to say that Eriksen is better than Harry Kane, mind them beat you, Junior, because, you know, everybody loves their Harry Kane. They think he's the savior and he's the best player ever for England football. But Harry Kane missed the easiest of tapping. They missed so many chances today because they had an opportunity to actually beat Newcastle. But it's just Spurs being Spurs. The lineup was the regular lineup, so we can't fault him for not playing his regular players, bar the Eriksen debacle. But he put his strongest lineup out there, and they still went out there and found a way to lose the game to Newcastle. It was a good, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Newcastle because in that 20% possession that they had the ball for, they actually played. Almiron was a very good player today. He was at the Energizer Bunny. I got dizzy just watching him go up and down the pitch. But Tottenham just finds a way to lose all the time. And today was an example of that.
Come on, you said that he fielded his strongest team today to start?
I mean, to me, he put the players out there that he put his trust in.
Okay.
I mean, there was no surprise for me when it comes to the lineup. There was no surprise. Nothing jumped out at me. I was like, okay, that's his thing.
I think Eriksen is a wasted sub.
but you know, we always talk about that. Every game or every team or whatever we watch, we see something in a lineup that we shake our heads. Maybe he did something in training that the coach liked. Maybe Eriksen talked back at him. We don't even know. But to me, his lineup was okay. And they should have won the game today, Jonah. If you watch the game, they should have won the game versus Newcastle by at least 3-1.
Big up to Newcastle and Steve Bruce picking up their first win. Newcastle fans, some of them are saying we want to play Spurs every week.
Because this is their first road win since being up. I heard that stat or something. There was some weird stat about Newcastle with this win today.
Yeah, so first win of the season for Newcastle. Other major hits, you know, Serie A kicked off this weekend to try to touch some big points on other leagues in Europe. In Serie A, Juventus picked up a 1-0 victory against Parma. I mean, it's a formality. We do expect Juventus to win this thing for the 9th time.
Should.
Right, come on.
They should.
But look out for Napoli, though.
Look out for Napoli. And we'll preview Napoli versus Juventus in our previous segment coming up in a section. Other major news coming around from Europe. Bundesliga, Lewandowski scored a hat-trick. Felipe Coutinho made his debut. His temporary assignment with Bayern Munich. Come on, you know, what do you expect from this Bayern Munich? Does Coutinho plays or fills that role very well for them? That number 10 role?
If he can stay healthy and score the goals and create the plays, he will. He definitely will.
Junior?
You forget about Bayern Munich. It's all about Jadon Sancho right now.
It's all about Jadon Sancho.
It's all about that team.
Yes.
Bayern Munich is playing second fiddle right now. Hey, Coutinho, I wish you all the best. I'm a Brazilian fan. I want you to do well. But Mr. Sancho has something for you guys.
Yeah, Jadon Sancho, I think he scored. And also assisted this weekend as Dortmund came from behind again.
And won convincingly.
Big up to Zach Steffen. He's on loan at Dusseldorf. He gave up a bag of goals as Dortmund ran riot around him.
The USA number one striker?
The USA number one goalkeeper, Zach Steffen. Come on. Your big side, Barcelona, finally picked up their first victory of the season. 5-2 against Real Betis. Any thoughts on that? I mean, you're a big signee for the summer. Griezmann. Yeah.
He had a good game today. He was all over the park. He scored a brace. So he had an assist. So he was doing really well, and I think, I forgot what his name is. There's Barcelona substituted the 16-year-old. They were so confident in beating Real Betis today. They threw on the 16-year-old player, and he had a good game too. After a while, Real Betis just looked like they had no idea what to do. I inject some youth and some speed there, but I mean, I was worried because Real Betis scored first. And I was really, hoping that we could eke out the win, and we did convincingly.
And I think the 16-year-old that you're talking is Perez. Is that the player you're talking, who they played today, who was impressive for Barcelona?
Yes.
So to segue to our preview and prediction segment, big matchup in Serie A next week, Saturday at 2:45 p.m. Juve versus Napoli, hosts Napoli. Usually you try to win these games earlier on if a Napoli to send a message to Juve. Does Napoli have any chance? Napoli defeated Fiorentina 4-3. Ribery and company, Fiorentina, scored 3 goals against them. But, I mean, this is at Juventus. This is where the Cristiano Ronaldo and company should win this game, right?
It's an easy bet to say, yes, Juventus should win.
No.
But does Juventus know who they are?
No, and by the way, Mauricio Sarri is still out ill. He will miss this game after having some medical procedure.
For pneumonia, right?
I'm not sure what was the ailment.
Yeah, I heard the pneumonia.
Juventus will win. Cristiano Ronaldo and Juventus will win this game. Come on, your prediction on this game.
I don't know, because Napoli just got a little magician called Chucky Lozano, the Mexican player, and he's very tricky. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking if Juventus even wins, it's going to be a hard fought game. But I think Napoli can eke out a 1-0 win.
And so that's Ervin Lozano. You know.
And if you're on Island Sports Network right now, let us know your predictions as well as we go through these predictions.
Yes, let us know your prediction as well. Another big game in Europe coming up this weekend is the London Derby. The two bug sides meet on Sunday. Arsenal hosts Spurs. I mean, should we even get up Sunday morning to watch this? This is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I think we should.
Which real manager will step up? Is it the Unai Emery and Mauricio Pochettino?
I think we should.
Will Unai Emery go ahead and play Lacazette, Aubameyang, and Pepe, his three-head monster, up top there in this game, Junior? No, he won't.
No, he won't.
No, he won't.
But then, this is a season-defining game for both coaches earlier on. If you lose this game, and I think Emery's under a lot more pressure because he's hosting this game.
Yes.
If Arsenal lays an egg in this game, this can significantly affect them for the next 3-4 weeks, 4 games, 5 games, and that will be the season for them.
And that will be Emery's job.
That will be Emery's job. Now, will Ericsson still be a Tottenham player number 1?
Yes, he will be.
All right, and then number 2, will he start?
I mean, start him. Keep playing him. Keep playing him. The transfer window closes shut the September 2nd in Europe. I mean, he will be there next weekend. He's not going anywhere. No one wants him. Come on, your thoughts on this Arsenal versus Tottenham matchup next Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I think the three big men for Arsenal will start. I don't think Emery can afford to lose this match. It's going to be panic mode for them. And the last game Arsenal and Spurs played, it was a 1-1 draw. Before that, in December, it was Spurs beat Arsenal 2-0. So Arsenal really and truly have not had success against Spurs. So I think with all the pressure going on with Emery, he's going to come out with guns blazing.
There's nothing gun blazing about Unai Emery. He's fragile, weak coach. Football family, send on your prediction for Arsenal versus Spurs next weekend. This game will be at Arsenal, and for Juventus versus Napoli. Official, what's your score? What do you think will actually? I mean, Emery did play a very good team last year against Spurs at Spurs. Played well, was quite tactical. Made some adjustments later on at halftime to actually, and Aubameyang missed a penalty to win the game. So you don't expect much from Unai Emery.
Pochettino is going to look at Kane and say, look at this piece of video. Look at David Luiz trying to stop Mohamed Salah. He's going to look at Lucas and say, look at David Luiz trying to stop Mohamed Salah.
Okay.
Go stand beside David Luiz and annoy him, pressure him, torture him.
But David Luiz is playing for Arsenal.
Yes.
Yes. I forgot. I had a
Yeah,
flashback to Chelsea more.
yes,
This game can...
hold on.
Eh?
So why them never show them the video? Show Harry Kane the video of Newcastle. If so be the case. If all it takes is a video to let Harry Kane start scoring goals and beat a team, then that's what he should have done for Newcastle. They give Harry Kane too much credit.
And he give Pochettino too much credit. These are two baby strength managers who we give too much credit.
And you guys are giving David Luiz too much credit to think that he will nullify Harry Kane.
No, he will not.
Okay.
If David Luiz has a good game, right? If he's not beat up himself, because as a matter of fact, he shouldn't even start.
He shouldn't even start. So Arsenal may go back to Chambers in that defensive position. We will see.
But my official score, Tottenham 4, Arsenal 2.
Tottenham 4 at Arsenal. Come on, your official prediction.
2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. Arsenal will win. Arsenal will win. I will give Unai Emery one last chance to prove me wrong. He's playing at home. If he loses this game at home, this London derby, then like you said, the pressure will mount. Arsenal spent over £100 million in the transfer window, and you're going to lose the London derby? They have higher aspirations for top 4 finish, and this is not good enough. To segue from Arsenal, as we round up to wrapping up our show, some other little news and nuggets from this week in football in Europe and football news in Europe. You know, Twitter executive agreeing to meet with Manchester United over the abuse that Paul Pogba received online. I mean, this is somewhat a bit of foolishness. We don't expect Twitter to do anything, or will Twitter do anything to try to stop this abuse of players or personnel on their platform.
They can. They can do something to stop it. Now, my issue is, and like I said in the chat, Pogba, Rashford got abused this weekend as well. Abraham, these players, these are millionaires. So if some bot or if some random IP address is sending out racial slurs to their Twitter account, which they more likely don't use, they have somebody that they pay to run their PR campaign, it's not going to affect them. Twitter should have attacked this racism for the younger, unknown players. What about that kid that plays in Miami, Florida? This Cuban kid that is getting racially abused, and that kid is the person that is using their account. What about those children that are thinking about slitting their own wrist because they missed a penalty for their high school game and some random racist. Those are the people that Twitter should attack. Don't go for the big money people. No, don't do that.
So it's a come on, is a sense that where you have a big money celebrity who can potentially move the needle in this situation to try to get Twitter and any platform to actually address this issue or try to do something to address this issue.
I agree with Junior in a sense. They should really spend maybe 60% of their time trying to protect the unknown. The young kids who are up and coming. Those are the kids that actually tweet on their own. But they also need the celebrity aspect of a campaign. So Pogba and Rashford, with all the millions of followers that they have to use them in order to push this agenda. So what they're going to do, I don't even know. I saw where your guy Maguire said people who need a Twitter account should open one using a piece of identification. Maybe that would work. I mean, at first I laughed because it sounded far-fetched. But I'm like, well, if someone knows that their Twitter account is actually tied into a real name, a real address, then you're bound to be a little bit more careful of what you tweet and what you say. So Twitter really have an issue on their basis, tweets and whatever. Then you ban them from Twitter. You ban them from the platform. Mm-hmm. But that still won't stop them from having another account, opening a new account to actually do the same thing. So it's going to be rough. And I understand when they want Pogba to come on board because it's a celebrity aspect. And I think it's a start.
Yep. All right, real quick, because I think we have to drive this point home. The thing with social media is this. All right, first of all, Facebook requires identification now. You have to provide some proof of identification to get your account. That's number one. But number two, the way how social media works. You need to become viral for you to become a blue check or to be popular, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I can create an account. I can have a Twitter account, for example, just argument's sake, call it ABC123. Mm-hmm. And I can go on and say, and this is just argument's sake, I can go on and say, Pele is really an African, and I have his birth certificate. I can put something that is just ridiculous out there like that. Or I can say, Pele met Tupac in Africa. Mm-hmm. And everybody will suck it up and go on and go on and go on. And then I will get followers just off that one post. Mm-hmm. And then 3 years later, I change my name to Balchat. Mm-hmm. And Balchat will automatically have all of these followers that are already following the account with nothing related to the Pele Tupac comment. And then I start building my following base. That is the goal of social media.
So build your leader, you grow your followers based on something catchy.
Right.
And then you may not necessarily... Virgin, don't link ball chat with your foolishness, all right? Don't link ball chat with
United Portmore, it starts September 1st. So United Portmore, it starts September 1st. And we're going to go into a Yard Baller segment.
Yes.
We'll talk about Jamaican football in a couple minutes.
Yeah, so Yard Baller segment. Hold tight, United, Portmore, and Rico Morgan, the entire RSPL family out there watching us on Island Sport Network. Let's wrap up Ball Chat. Other major news coming out in Europe this week. PSG rejected another offer for the one Mr. Neymar himself. Come on. How many offers will Barca try to get this Neymar player there? And this was a potentially loan deal or temporary assignment, and then they pay the rest of the money next year. Come on.
I say higher purchase.
Yes.
I think at the end of the day, Barcelona will actually win out. Because now you see them play, you realize that they need the help. For me, Neymar is a distraction. He's a celebrity that we really don't need or want on the team. But I guess Messi wants him, and they're going to pull all the stops out. So, it's going to be interesting to see how much money they come up with and when he will actually join Barcelona. But I do think he'll be a Barcelona player.
And I hope he won't. Junior, final statement on this name, or we don't have time for either for child acting like
PSG is looking past Barcelona. They are simply making it clear that they are not going to be dragged through transfer market like they are somebody's little sister or little brother.
And finally, Leonardo, acting like a disciplinarian and putting his foot down. Thomas Tuchel is rumored to might be on a hot seat at PSG.
They're playing right now, so.
And PSG is playing. They lost to Rennes last week. Do you see Thomas Tuchel losing his job at PSG anytime soon?
What would it take for him to lose his job? For them to be second in the league? Come on.
For them to lose. Jose Mourinho, line up yourself. Come on. Do you think Thomas Tuchel will ride the year out with PSG?
No.
No.
The only way he's leaving is if he quits. I think he's fine.
Okay, you think it's fine. Ball Chat family, that's it for us. And big up all those following us on Facebook and keeping track on and watching the live on YouTube. Big up yourself. Short and sweet, Junior.
Yeah, but we're going to cut off the YouTube link right now. We're going to go straight into Yard Ballers.
We're going to go straight into Yard Ballers. Link us on social media, Ball Chat Podcast on Instagram, Ball Chat 1 on Twitter, Ball Chat on Facebook. It's a fan-oriented show, so if you want to join the show, you can email us at ballchatpodcast@gmail.com. Come forward with your opinions. Represent your team. It's all about fans.
And we're kicking off Yard Ballers momentarily, so sit tight. YouTube, big up. Lick more.